at this partnership between these two teams, it's a brief, very brief history that I've given, but these are two iconic brands. These are legendary brands. If you're talking about rivalry, whether on the field of play or off the field of play, it exists. And what you guys have done is you put them together and made this fantastic combination. How has it been?
Oh, it's been great. I think, obviously, when you take two of South Africa's iconic football teams, Chiefs and Pirates, you combine them with the power of Calling Black Label and the champion status that brand delivers, and bring them together in a competition which puts them against each other in a very unique way. I think you have a great recipe for success.
It's a recipe for success, Dr. Khoza, built again on a great understanding. For you guys as Orlando Pirates, how has this worked?
Well, I think for us, it demonstrates that Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs are the embodiment of football in this country. And if you want any vehicle of going to the market, there's nothing better than Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. But more importantly, for us to be involved in this exciting exercise was to make sure that we play our role in reinforcing the message of advocating and reminding people that they must drink responsibly. So our voice, I think, is going to come in more important because of the emotional bond attached between ourselves and our supporters out there. There's nothing wrong with drinking, but you must drink responsibly, because drinking is to relax. They're going to take Panados, and if you take too much of Panados, you are problem.
Okay, I'm sure you share the same sentiments.
Yeah, certainly, Phumlani. But I think as far as Kaizer Chiefs is concerned, I would like to say that the partnership that you see here, I think is fitting in the sense that we've come a long way with SA Glories. And I think we've paid our dues. The two clubs have paid their dues in terms of taking this industry forward. And hence, this partnership had to come to become a reality. But I think what is important is that the Black Label Culling Cup brings about something that we wanted to do in terms of giving back to the community, especially to our supporters for their loyalty and their passion over the years. So we felt to bring about something of this innovation to engage them. But the underlying factor obviously is the fact of the CSI that we put together to ensure that it's payback time for us to pay back to the communities and the supporters. Hence, as you saw last year, we had both winners from the two clubs, and the money was shared between the winner and the community where they come from. So that money has gone to good use. But having said that, there was an element which is exciting, which obviously is about the coaching. The coaches obviously initially were not very receptive because they did not understand the concept. They thought maybe their powers are being usurped. But fortunately, they since realized that in fact this was a very good gimmick to get the supporters to understand, although they wouldn't be in a position to get to the nitty-gritty, because coaching is not only about substitution, it's about bringing the team together, working with the team over a period of time, Monday to Sunday. But that obviously brought about an exciting element to the game, to give the fans a chance to be the coach.
Ian, the 2011 campaign, was a great success. But before it happened, before it took off, no one really knew what was going to happen, how it was going to the receive. What do you make of the successes of the 2011 campaign?
I think the 2011 campaign was a bold move. Although the idea had been used in the web and the internet space in terms of choosing your coaches and selecting your teams, we'd never had a real live manifestation of this, as far as we know, anywhere in the world. So it was a very innovative concept. The technology we used, and the company that we used for that, we hadn't partnered with before, so it was a first for them. Obviously, the scale of the event and the scale of entries and the scale of excitement that was caused by the event was something that was obviously quite difficult to pre-plan for, but we managed that with very few problems. I think that the build-up to the event was spectacular. I think we've started a little earlier this year because the fan enthusiasm was really exceptional, as we saw from the data in that presentation. I think that on the day, we had an amazing day in terms of the turnout, in terms of the passion of the fans. There were some early concerns about whether or not it would be, a gimmick or a one-off, whether or not it would work. The teams had some anxiety, the coaches had some anxiety. And I think obviously when you're trying something new like this, there are risks associated with it, and nobody wants to end up being the person who took the bad risk and looking foolish. But I think what happened on match day and even post-match day in terms of the investment in coaching itself has proven that this is an extremely strong concept. If you look at Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, their fan base is extraordinary in terms of the number of consumers, the number of our consumers, and the number of their fans that support the teams. They're obviously way ahead of their peer teams in a sense. And in fact, estimates come to around about 70% of fans in the country are supporters of these teams. And all fans have an interest simply because of the iconic nature of the teams themselves.
Ian, talking about supporters, I don't know, I can ask you this now, or I can ask you later. Which team do you support? Don't answer. Dr. Khoza, in terms of the coaches, Orlando Pirates have an interim coach now. Kaizer Chiefs have hired a new coach, Stuart Baxter. He probably will be there on the day. At the time when you went into 2011, your coach, how did they receive this?
Well, I think he understood, the marketing element, that is involved in the competition. And obviously, he had to adopt in terms of the strategy we wanted, to join in, especially in terms of the messaging that I spoke about of responsible drinking. But more importantly, also, we made him to understand there is an opportunity that the supporters, they know they belong, but they've not participated. So it was a chance for the supporters to participate for the first time, for them to understand the challenges of what it takes to be a coach, what it takes to substitute, what it takes to prepare, all the countdown, and there's talking as experts, because we're all experts, armchair experts. But when you're physically involved, it changes the mindset, the understanding of the intrigues and the challenges that go with it. And I think we are wiser now to say, when we talk about the derby, especially in the cutting black label, they are one down, some are one up. It's not like administration, because if the team is loose, it's Kaizer. If the team is loose, it's Ivan. So therefore, it's them now losing. So it's for the first time they must take responsibility on their actions. Because always, it is out that take the responsibility. But more importantly for me, it was also for the supporters also to understand and tell us what they think about the players. And I had to make the coach understand that let's understand how they understand what the players, how they think about the players. So there's education involved, in all respects. And I think they are wiser now, and I'm happy that this competition is going to go for another 15 years.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I said with the coach also, this tournament is going to also assist in enhancing the social currency. If you are not there, you are not helping. So therefore, and I want to correct, what I've heard, say that 85,000 people, 94,000 people in Australia. So it just shows that if you are not there, you are not helping. And I know that this year when they come also, they realize that I must be there. But if I'm not there, I'm not happy. So the coach understood that there's so much that goes into it. That's what makes the two teams unique, because there's things that we do differently in making sure that we remain relevant and we remain what you call aspirational. And the coach must understand it, because they come and go. We remain with the team. We understand what the market wants, and we understand what the sponsors want, and it's very important for them to be able to understand that when we do things, we're not doing it because we try to detract from their focus, but we want to enhance the value of the team and also make sure we give experience, because football is all about experiential marketing.
But okay, before I go back to Ian to speak about the coaches and the wonderful CSI campaign that they have. At Kaizer Chiefs, there's going to be a new coach, you know, when the new season begins. Your fans are excited about the current Black Label Cup. They'll be voting. I don't know how best to ask this question and how best you're going to answer it. Are there going to be new players?
Well, like the previous one, I think there will be new players, obviously, because both teams are going to the market. But then obviously it depends as to at what stage are you in the market at that point in time. But there will be new players, I'm sure, that will be coming on board. And as and when they come in, we'll be able to update the fans to say this is a player which was acquired, and they obviously will fall into the slot for selection by the fans.
Ian, coach the coaches. Tell us more about that.
Well, I think SAB has a very long legacy of involvement with South African soccer, over 50 years now. You know, from the early days of the PSL through to sponsoring the national team, through to the 2010 bid. And there's been a lot of engagement through SAFA, through the national team and the national programs. This program, which very closely links to Colin Black Label's proposition of choosing the champion coach, obviously lends itself to a new angle, an angle which we hadn't tackled before. It was felt, post the World Cup, and I think it was widely written about, that coaching and coaching development is a real opportunity area for South African soccer. And obviously, with this campaign, we felt that an ideal way to tap into that would be to link the program to an investment of some 5 million rand over 5 years of a specific coaching program, using Pitso and Sarami from the national management to engage with 36 coaches, development coaches, drawn from the grassroots level of the country, in a one-week workshop, which hopefully would expose them to new tools and techniques and methodologies that they hadn't had the opportunity to see before. And that's obviously been kicked off. We believe we've had very positive feedback, and we believe that sets the base foundation, if you like, for growing from strength to strength within that program.
Thank you so much. And giving back to communities, Dr. Khoza, Mr. Motaung has already talked about the fact that, as football is one thing that you will never ever neglect. Both of you gave how much? $1 million each?
Yes. In fact, it's $1 million each. It's interesting, Phumlani, that in 1985, 84, we came up with an idea of creating this kind of CSI between Kaizer Chiefs and Motaung at the time. For the starters wanting to be for the players, and it gave birth to a charity competition. And in 1985, when we formed the NSI, the same sponsor, it made a condition that without Kaizer Chiefs, they want to sponsor the new National Soccer League. And at the deadline was 2 o'clock. Only at 5 to 2, Orlando Pirates signed up, and the sponsorship was so there was this element all the time of being involved, since the 50 years ago. But for us, it was always central, the issue of the public, the issue of the charities involved, as Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. And that is why we made sure that in this element, there must be something giving back to our supporters. And we are grateful that it has gone a long way, and that impact as giving back to our supporters, because of the great support, all what is asked from them, is supporting Orlando Pirates and also for us giving ourselves in supporting whatever charitable initiative that we asked for. But for the first time, we needed to complete the selfish to say let's give to our supporters, for them to appreciate that we also care for them in the community.
Gentlemen, before I let you go, I'd like to ask each of you to give us your final thoughts, what the fans can expect in the 2012 Carling Black Label Cup, because the campaign begins after today. It's going to be excitement throughout the country. Let me start with you, okay, your final thoughts.
Well, given the fact that the last campaign was so successful, I mean, 10 million votes were cast, that's true testimony to the fact that the fans actually embrace this concept. So I'm urging our fans to even outdo the last year's success and do it even much bigger this time because of what we want to pursue.
You also are eager to win the cup.
Yeah, well, obviously, Pirates, there's always the first time. Pirates won it the first time. Obviously, this one is a different ball game. So it makes it even more exciting that we haven't won it yet. The Pirates have won it. So that actually brings about that competitive edge into this competition. Because we cannot go for two competitions without winning it. You know what the fans are like, the bragging rights are very important for the fans.
Yeah.
Well, I think obviously we'd like to build on the success of last year's Cup. It was an extraordinary success. I think that we've had a lot of learnings and we're building on those in terms of the type of programs that precede the Cup, as well as the activities that will follow the actual event itself. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I know that although we haven't actually officially launched this event really yesterday on TV, I think was the first mention of it, we already have an astonishing amount of interest and in fact entries coming into the system by virtue of the fact that it's been out there on pack for the last couple of weeks. So it seems to me that there's a head of steam which is building up, which is really significant. Fans have embraced the concept, they understand the concept, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get at least twice as many, twice as many people engaging this year as did last year. And obviously we hope for a great day, and we don't mind who wins. It'll be a deserving winner one way or the other. Yeah, we're grateful for the support of the team as well. It makes a huge difference to us in terms of making the event come alive.
Marketing Director for SAB Miller, Ian Pellan, thank you so much. Dr. Khoza, your final thoughts?
Before I can comment in, I'm in a very difficult space because reporters, they want scoops. And they ask me this question, fortunately I know the answer, you better tell me. Before I respond, you better tell them.
Yeah,
I'm going to leak it.
Please tell us.
Okay, so I'm sure the General Manager of Collins is going to be irritated with me. But basically we've already had more than 1 million votes this year so far. Without the campaign actually hitting the market in any meaningful way.
Wow.
Well, I think for us, it's good for the supporters, because the win is their win. So for them to remain relevant, demand a chance, to be picking the coach, picking the players, they've got to maintain the winning streak. And I know at the moment that the rabbit we are being chased, but we want to remain the rabbit all the time to be chased. So, but it's for the supporters this time. The headache is off me now, and the technical team and the management is all to do with the supporters. So I hope it's going to be an exciting tournament, and I'm happy to hear from coming Black Label that there's already 1 million people already voted within 24 hours of announcing. So therefore it means it's going to be an exciting year of this thing. Have the 15 years guaranteed by SAB.
Dr. Khoza, Chairman of Phumlani Pirates, SAB Miller Marketing Director at SAB Miller, Ian Pellan, and the Chairman of Kaizer Chiefs, Mr. Kaizer. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the insight and thank you so much for your time. Are you guys allowed to vote as fans? Chairman, you can be a fan.
Yes, I'm voting. I'm going to vote this time. Especially for the new players that are going to go. But there are 5 slots though for the unknown players. So I'll be voting for those players, with that in case.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You may leave the stage. Once again, we thank you so much for your insight and the understanding.